What's up, everybody? We are live. Good afternoon. Happy Friday. I'll give it a second or so. Cool. So we're talking real estate today. Let me make sure all these stuff are on. I hope so. Give it a minute for people to get on. All right. I think I am live. So what's good today, everybody? Happy Friday. Mina Badros here. We're talking real estate. I'm gonna talk about my master class I have coming up. We're gonna talk about an exciting training collaboration that we have coming up, and also some industry updates. A lot's been happening, but I'm gonna focus on just things that happened this week, right? So yeah, my master class, man. This is I'm building something very exciting, and it's you know I'm taking it slow because I want to make sure that it's great. The master class is currently titled "The Framework to a Wealthy Life Through Your Real Estate Career." I did it once with a small group of people. The feedback was great. People loved it. They said it was inspiring. They said it was very informative. It broke things down in a way they've never seen before. So it made things easier for them. And I'm excited, man. And people are taking action. I'm beginning to really set the foundation to building wealth for them and their family. So I'm very excited about that. I'm doing another one this coming Wednesday, 10 a.m. This is also another beta one, so very small group. I really don't want more than like 10, 15 people. I reached out to a few folks directly, but if I haven't reached out to you and you are interested in checking it out, please do let me know. Comment or DM me, and I will get you that invite. To give you a little bit more context about what this is about. So if you are, especially if you're in the real estate space already, if you're a real estate agent, a broker, an investor, if you're looking to make a bigger impact in your life, build wealth, and really create that life that you want. Get off that transaction treadmill, that real estate roller coaster that we know, then that's the training for you. It's all about learning and beginning to actually take the steps to build this life in a much simpler way than you have thought. We're going to talk about the mindset that it takes, the foundation that you need to begin setting wealth up for yourself and for your family, the different stages of wealth building. A lot of people think that you have to do everything at once, but the reality is there's different stages, and it's kind of like playing a game, right? So you're in level one, you have a few tasks or missions to complete, and once you complete those tasks, you complete level one, you move on to level two. So it's much more palatable for people that way. Right. We're also going to talk about sharpening your skills, especially if you're in the real estate space. And I'm a big fan of not just giving people information, but giving people things to do and activities and actions. So throughout the master class, I'm going to give you action steps that you can take. I'm also going to give you a workbook to go along with it, and that has various resources and all the action steps that you need to take and exercises that you should go through yourself. By the way, it is free, and I keep it under an hour because I like to keep things short and concise. So once again, the framework to a wealthy life through your real estate career, small beta class, just doing it for feedback. Wednesday, 10 a.m. Hopefully the feedback is great again, and I continue to improve it, and then maybe I'll do it a third beta time, or maybe I'll just kind of board it out to the world after that. Right. So if you are interested, definitely DM me or comment, and I'll send you the quick private invite. All right. Next, man, I have on with me, I'm about to bring him up right now, Mr. Javier Nichols, who is a great trainer, a great real estate professional. We're doing a collaborative training together October 18th and 19th, so roughly in about 2 weeks. It's called Planning for Success. Don't be reactive, be proactive. And it's really about business planning and just planning. It's not just about business planning, but planning for success in your real estate career. Let me bring him on. Let's chat about that for a second. Mr. Javier, good to see you. Good to have you.
Oh, good to be here. Thank you very much, Mena, for inviting me to this amazing room. And I'm listening to all of the things you have going on. And it's amazing that you put in the time. And that's the difference, right? A lot of us see all of these, quick hacks to get, success and quick routes. But the consistency in what you do and what you provide is truly like proof is in the pudding, right? There are steps in the foundational blocks that need to be laid before you can reach that next level. And there is no quick way to do it. So yeah, I'm listening and I'm loving the fact that you are putting it out there and extremely excited about our training we have coming up.
For sure, man. I'm trying to build something great, and Rome wasn't built in a day, they say. So great,
Yeah.
great things take time. So let's dive into our training, man. Planning for success for real estate professionals, October 18th and 19th. 90 minutes each day, right? 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Let me ask you, why is this important from your perspective to real estate professionals out there?
Wow. So that's a great question. So number one, the most important reason why this training should be sought after by all realtors watching this and in our area is the fact that we are now in the fourth quarter of 2023. There has been a long ride between COVID and now. And understanding that the beginning of that allowed for success to be reached very quickly due to low interest rates, due to high demand. And now we're finding out that you really need to upgrade your skill set in order to reach the next level. Very close to exactly what I was just saying about what your master classes are coming up and talking about. So this training that we're doing is taking the pieces of data, understanding data, number one. A lot of the realtors that we train across the country, we always emphasize RPR. And as many of you know, I'm a certified RPR trainer, and RPR is Realtors Property Resource. This resource is something that belongs to just realtors. So having a resource that is so valuable and jam-packed with information that's only able to be accessed by realtors allows you to now showcase your skill set. So this training is going to allow you to really understand that aspect, but we have so much more because you're going to be a part of it and you're coming in with a lot of the business practices and business plans that most agents tend to forget when they first get into the industry. So it is a monumental training for fourth quarter finish that all agents need to be a part of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see the RPR stuff, and I'm gonna combine some of that with some Bright MLS stuff, right? Because I think it's a powerful tool. Funny thing you mentioned data. I used to train for Bright MLS. I was a contract trainer, and I was sitting in a meeting once, and I heard this phrase that Bright MLS is more of a data company than anything else, right? And people don't look at it that way, but there's so much information that we have access to and we can analyze to understand the market, to plan ahead, but also to educate our communities and our audiences as to what's going on in the real estate space, right? And agents contact me, on a regular basis and ask me how to answer certain questions using right information, right? So I'm excited to do that. We're also going to go through a lot of clarity exercises. I think that's the whole thing about being reactive. I think most agents are reactive and they're not proactive with their business. And you hit it right on the nail. I mean, we're getting squeezed, and I'll share some kind of industry updates really quick here in a second. Things are getting tougher, right? And that's the reality of it. Agents are doing less transactions than they were last year. As a country, we're about probably a third less of the transactions, so a few million transactions shorter than the previous years. Interest rates are higher, right? And so I think it's more competitive, and agents really have to sharpen up their chops to kind of get ahead and to make the income that they need to, especially going through next year, right?
Correct. Correct.
Right.
And the skill set needed across the board needs to be addressed, right? We find time and time again, we're getting in trouble for not expressing 100% how we are compensated. So we see, as you guys know, I sit on a board of directors for Pennsylvania Association of Realtors and for Bucks County, and consistently we have been faced with lawsuits of big companies, Remax, Everything Real Estate. These companies have paid settlements because of that discrepancy, that issue that we are finding ourselves in. Now, another reason why this training that we're doing is so powerful is that we're going to layer in an understanding of compliance. So while you're out here prospecting for business and fighting hard to do so, you need to understand the rules. And understanding the rules will allow you to stay out of trouble. And we're showing you how to make those rules. You follow those rules. We're showing you how to make that as an attribute of hiring you as an agent. Because a lot of people don't think that, wait a minute, I can actually use the buyer agency contract to get a buyer. Now, we know most people have been running away from having that document signed because it's been scaring away buyers. So we're literally taking these fundamental understandings of becoming the best professional and adding them into that quick formula that people always chase after to get more business. We're taking those two and we're merging them because honestly, your knowledge on the MLS is going to allow them to instantaneously find the data. My knowledge on RPR is going to help them understand to translate the data and put it on social media. And then your practices of business layering is going to give them sustainability. So there's not something that is a one-off. Like you know how you leave your training and you hit the ground running for a couple of days or a couple of weeks. And it's like a diet. When you start a diet, you're like, all right, I'm not going to eat that carb. And like after a couple of weeks, you're like, all right, let me get that pizza real quick. You know what I mean? Because you don't keep that sustainability. So this is why this training is extremely important, because we're giving you an actionable step to do over and over again. And we're giving you the recording. So that's another phenomenal point.
Yeah, so I mean, real quick, we're gonna give you secret hacks that of these tools that probably most people in your market don't know, right? I just the reality of it, people don't know what they don't know. We're gonna make sure that you're clear on your business, that you know how to stand out, that you understand what is your value proposition, what value do you bring to the market, and most agents don't have that defined. We're gonna talk about who's your ideal client, right? We're gonna talk about the main pillars or the main elements of what a real estate business operation should look like, right? The things that you should be spending your time on. And we're going to make sure, because we are true believers in not just knowledge, but the application of knowledge, that we're not just giving you information, that you're actually going through it for yourself and you're making a customized plan and action steps so that you can actually get results out of it, right? Is there anything else that you want to share about the training?
Well, I do want to emphasize on a point that you just went into, is that target audience, right? Many people, when they hear the word target audience or hear the word farm, they don't necessarily believe that they have a problem selecting it, right? When people say, who's your target audience? Oh, well, first-time home buyers and people who want to sell their home, or right? You don't necessarily believe that. You just say that because that's who you want to work with, or that's who you worked with in the past without even knowing you targeted them. So the target audience aspect is we're going to help you unlock and understand why you're choosing a certain target audience. For example, something in RPR that we like to go over is showcasing to you the amount of population of kids. We break them down: toddlers, middle schoolers, elementary schoolers, high schoolers. Let me explain. So if your area has a higher population of high schoolers than any other area on that chart, then your target audience is going to be who? Downsizers, right? Mm-hmm. So you're choosing downsizers not based because you want to work with them because you're a downsizer. No, because this is the predominant target in your community that is going to give you the quickest route to your success. So we're going to flip over that target audience knee jerk that most agents fall into by saying, oh, first-time home buyers, No. We're going to show you who your target audience should be, and we're going to back it up with some data. So it's a 2-day training that, for me personally, we bounce back and forth, making it honest number of, close to like the $400-500 marker, because 2 hours, 90 minutes of this is worth it. One deal, you're going to maximize, you're going to 10x this, 1,000x this. But no, we made it so that the early bird pricing is extremely affordable for just that agent getting started at a whopping $47. All right. You're going to spend that money. You're probably spending that money while watching this video. Okay. You're going to do it this weekend. Seriously. So the money aspect is not what we're doing. We're doing it because we want you to be committed and get some information from us who are truly passionate and committed ourselves in helping out. So, man, I couldn't be more excited about this, to work with you, to provide value, and to fight hard for our industry, because this is the time that trainings like this are much needed.
Yeah, and the early bird special, thank you for mentioning that, ends Sunday, I believe. So I'm going to put the website in the chat. Hopefully it comes up on all the streaming places, but if not, then right after I'm done, I'll go ahead and put it in the comments. And here you go, newagenthandbook.com. You can go there. You'll find the flyer right on the front. Click on it. Early bird special, $47. Ends at Sunday night. It's very cheap, to be honest. Most classes, even the ones that don't necessarily give you a lot of value, right? They're probably $250 and up. And all of you guys get your CE credits and all of that stuff in the next few months. I mean, what you have to pay for that, right? Seriously. Cool, man. So yeah, I want to get into some industry updates really quick before we let go, because I know we both have some things to do. As I pulled that up, if anything else, feel free to share.
Oh man, I want everybody to truly ask yourselves, how bad do you want it, right? And how bad do you want it is not just a question to just throw out there. It's asking you, it's forcing you to hold yourself accountable. And I truly want everybody to ask themselves that. You chose this industry, this business, to be a business owner and to leave a legacy for those that you have in your life, right? And for yourself, of course. And I constantly ask agents all the time this question, because it allows us to truly dive deep into the why. And once we can capture that why, these trainings are like gold. We know they're gold, but a lot of times we're blinded because we're chasing those gurus that really don't really do what we do on a regular basis. So, wow, look at this.
Yeah, man. So, we were talking about, being squeezed and times are tougher. Mortgage demand dropped to the lowest level since 1996 as interest rates head toward 8%. A lot of people thought from the sevens we were going to go down to the fives, but that's not what it's looking like, right? So if you were expecting to end up in the fives interest rates, that's not what the news are showing. I don't have a crystal ball, but that's not what the indicators and all the news are showing. A good piece of news, though, on mortgages. Yesterday, I believe it was yesterday or the day before, Fannie Mae announced new selling guidelines. And now conventional loans on multifamily homes are going to be as low as 5% for primary residences or, owner occupants. So if you are looking to buy a multi-unit, right, and you're looking to live in it yourself as an owner occupant, you can buy a multi-unit on a conventional loan, and the LTV is now going to be, your down payment is going to be like 5% is the requirement. So that's huge. That's a game changer for a lot of people that want to get into multi-units and want to live into themselves. Hopefully this will allow more people to buy and some flexibility to buy there. Another big piece of news you mentioned earlier about, the lawsuits and stuff. Another thing that's kind of related, Redfin decided to leave NAR right earlier this week. Yep. And they're calling on other brokerage companies to do the same, right? So it's going to be interesting what happens. Just curious to know your perspective on that real quick.
Well, for me personally, I know that Redfin exit, for them to leave, exit was already planned. It's just that they chose to do it within the midst of some turmoil, so it sounded better. Okay, they were already planning on making that exit, and quite frankly, Redfin has just been, toppled by homes.com. They're getting a lot more driving traffic to their website than Redfin. So to me personally, hearing that news doesn't affect us at all because we're realtors. All of those companies who are out there, the Redfins of the world, we're not going to speak on Zillow because we know Zillow is our part of our association. However, those companies are trying to replace us as agents. And to me personally, I love what we do. I love what we stand for. And I 100% invest in RPAC and I 100% stand tall for all realtors. And I want to make sure that we are equipping ourselves with the right tools to keep companies like that at bay. So they're not really coming into our world and taking what we hold dear. And honestly, the realtor, in my mind, is just as important as the doctor, as the lawyer, okay, in the community. And there is a part to be said of us being economic developers because we're helping homeowners achieve wealth through real estate while also engaging in with ourselves and our own families. But think about that, right? More commercial units help lower property taxes. So if you are focusing on being the best realtor you can be, then your goal should be following all the rules, knowing them for one, and then taking that out and showing the public the code of ethics, okay, showing the public what we stand for, showing the public what we have done. And the state of Pennsylvania, we've gotten through the legislation of 1031 exchange on the state level. Like I was a part of that 174
That was
team
big.
of realtors. Yeah, that was huge. You know how many people are now going to engage and not having to spend that 3% to the state and giving that to the state, right? So real estate is dear to our economic. And if we commercialize real estate in that kind of way, like commercialize in a way that we take away that relationship part and just make it about numbers and no. So Redfin, good riddance. However, everyone else that still remains to stand tall as realtors, double down. This is the time to get your skill set up, not just knowing how to sell a property. Okay, get the rule book, understand the rules, understand the contract, stand tall with them when you are speaking to your clients and show them that we have a fiduciary duty, all right, and we're going to fulfill it, and we're going to follow the rules, and we're going to give you the experience you deserve.
Yeah, I mean, the more you know, the more options you can give your client, and the better, representative of people that you can be, right? And even when it comes to negotiation, you mentioned the contract. I mean, the more you know the contract, man, the more options you can give your clients, the more strategies you can come up with. You're much more skilled and equipped to navigate transactions and close deals, and solve more problems than you would if you didn't have those things, right?
Correct. And
Yeah.
it changes the public it changes the public perception of what we do and how we do it. And just I don't want to nerd out on the contracts, guys, but I'm obsessed with understanding them. However, there is a document in all states, by the way, or should be in all states, but I know we have it here in Pennsylvania, is that it's called the contract guidelines. So what it does is it explains a contract in layman terms for your clients, right? And a lot of us, what we did is we allow our clients to send back a DocuSign in 2 seconds, right? I know somebody out there is like, yeah, I've done that before. We don't want to get y'all in trouble, but we want to make sure that you understand that that's part of the problem, right? And if you took the time to explain the contract to your client, not only would you have a more loyal client because they look at us like commodities, right? They're like, oh, this cereal box is too much money. I'm going to go and get a deal at Target, right? They're looking at you like that because they feel that they can replace you with a cheaper you somewhere else because that's how we look at commodities. So again, it's changing the perception and really standing behind the brand and making sure that we are out there. That's why y'all should pull up to this training. Seriously, there are very few, if any, trainers that have the background that me and Minna share. And I guarantee you that not only will you gain some insight that no one else has, but there's going to be some tricks. And he already said there's going to be some hacks and some tricks that we show you guys that you can gain in business. I'm talking like micro stuff that is right in your backyard that you never even thought to talk about when you're speaking to
Stuff that would wow people in your office if you show it to them, you know?
no, no, it will wow people in your office when you show it to them. They'll be like, wait a minute, you got a
Yeah, I
deal
didn't
because
know
you did
that.
this. I'm excited
Yeah.
about that, man. Definitely.
So real quick before we wrap up, I mean
Yep.
we're both part of the same company, EXP Realty. EXP was this week. A lot of exciting stuff. I'm just gonna touch on a few things as a part of our industry updates. One thing that's interesting, and I'm interested to see where this goes. But EXP Realty, we launched our nationwide listing networks, right? So it's called EXP Exclusives. On there, agents will be able to search listings across all of EXP's listings across the nation, pretty much, and also office exclusive listings. So it's going to be interesting to see. There's a lot of agents already getting on it. If you're an EXP agent and you haven't got on it yet, make sure you do. There's a link there, right? As trainers, we're always exciting for good learning, and EXP recently tabbed Brian Ellington to be the Chief Learning Officer for EXP and to revolutionize agent-driven learning. And that's a beautiful thing. I love when I ever see stuff like that, agent-driven, right? Because I think a lot of educators create things to protect the consumer and to fulfill agendas up here, right? Political agendas, financial agendas, X, Y, and Z entities. But when you really create things to help the people that are your audience, that makes it much more meaningful and creates results. So I'm excited to see what he does and how that kind of shifts training inside of our world.
Yeah, he's
And
actually.
last thing
I
is
know.
marketing powerhouse, right? So automated listing presentation kits, automated active listing kits, right? That are connected with the MLS, that will provide you digital assets and social media content, making it very easy for agents to go on listing presentations and win, get contracts, get those listings, and also be able to market those listings. So these are just a few things that's taking place in our company, and I'm sure next week as we kind of come back from EXPCon, more things will unfold out. You wanted to mention something?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I know Brian. Man, Brian is a very, very, very powerful guy. He's really amazing in what he does, and I cannot wait to see. And it's funny because me and Brian actually had a conversation when we first came out with the New Agent Handbook because he was from Century 21 and he was part of the executive team over there. And him and Joe Magnum was, I believe she's still with Century 21, is the chief marketing officer, I believe. But yeah, so this is crazy that Brian actually left Century 21 to come to EXP. And that showcases to you guys all that's watching this. And to me personally, I was never like, we're not going to take this too far, but I was never like into EXP when it first came out. I was more or less just sticking to my guns and knowing and understanding and not really seeing the dynamic. But the in-office experience that most of us agents had to deal with during COVID and even after COVID is that just like the office at your job, there were people that were like doomsday guys or gals who were like always constantly in the rut or like not really uplifting. And they're going to be the people that are most likely frequent in the office. So one of the things that really clicked with me before I jumped into EXP is that dynamic of how EXP has like the virtual office and then agents all around. Because it's just a better feel. So I can understand that he resonated with that, and look where he is now. So this is going to be cool. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I
man.
can't wait to tell my wife about this. She's going to be like, "What?"
Yes.
All right.
So
So
yeah, folks. So it's 12:30. So we're gonna wrap up. But real quick, my masterclass Wednesday, 10 a.m. under an hour. The framework to a wealthy life through your real estate career. DM me or comment. I'll get you an invite. I'm only doing a small group, really just to get more feedback and to continue to improve it before I really market it out there. And our planning for success 2-day training, October 18th and 19th. Register for that at the New Agent Handbook or just newagenthandbook.com, right? It should be in the chat or I'll put it in the comments. Early bird special, $47, ends Sunday night, I believe. Javier, you want to close us out? Anything on that?
If you want something that you never had, you got to do something you never done.
That's for sure.
Simple.
All right, folks. Enjoy your weekend. See you soon next week, maybe a few times. Have a good one.
Enjoy. Peace.